Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Ethereum and discuss whether $2,500 is in the cards in the not so distant future. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Let's go ahead and jump in. So this elusive $2,500 Ether is now seeming like a very strong possibility in the short term. What's interesting is despite the fact that Bitcoin is back in price discovery mode, Ethereum, like the last time Bitcoin was in price discovery mode, is keeping pace. And I think one of the reasons it's keeping pace is because so far Bitcoin hasn't made a huge run into price discovery mode. So it's similar to when Bitcoin made a run into price discovery mode back when it finally went above 58K, but then it only went up a few thousand more dollars. So we're sort of doing the same thing so far. And during this time, Ethereum did do quite well. Okay, once we broke through right here, not during that time, but once we broke through. So we've broken through again, and now the question is well, can Ethereum keep pace? And as I've said before, as long as Bitcoin doesn't go up manically, where it's going up like, I mean, a couple $1,000s a day is a lot. I don't know that it's anything to get out of bed for. If you start to see Bitcoin going up $5,000 a day, $10,000 a day, something like that, I don't think Ethereum's going to be able to keep pace in that type of environment. I mean, I could be wrong, right? But this is just my own experience. So if we look at the Ether Bitcoin valuation, we can see that we have had two green candles in a row, and we're currently in yet another green candle. And for us to get to the top of our uptrend channel, more or less, it would represent another 37 to 38% move. If you look at this on a linear scale and draw it out like this to get to the top of the channel, it's also about a 39% move. So very similar moves based on, just slight deviations in drawing these lines based on a linear scale or a logarithmic scale. Obviously, these lines are not perfect. So a 37% move. Well, where would a 37% move put Ethereum? Now, we're certainly not saying it has to go up 30%, 37%, but let's just suppose that it did. Where would that put it for a constant valuation of Bitcoin? That would put it actually at $3,300. So that, a $3,300 Ether, I agree, right? I agree. It kind of sounds ridiculous in the short term, and I would contend that we're probably not going to go straight to a $3,300 Ethereum. If history is any indication, like I've said before, the time between going to these upper bands, it's not just a few weeks. It tends to be months and months and months. And I mean, you're talking about 4 months and 6 months and maybe 5 or 6 months. And so far, we're just over 2 months out. So what I've said before is if we do come back up to the top of this uptrend channel, it could still be several months for all we know. And by that time, we don't even know what the valuation of Bitcoin will be. I mean, we're looking at this Ether Bitcoin valuation of say 0.05 and saying, well, if Ether Bitcoin, if the valuation of ETH over Bitcoin is 0.05, then we knew that for a $60,000 Bitcoin, that would put, or sorry, let me change this to 0.05. Then we knew that for a $60,000 Bitcoin, 1/20th or 0.05 is $3,000. But if Bitcoin is not $60,000 and you take 0.05, then it becomes a very different valuation, of course. Okay, I mean, if Bitcoin is $80,000 or something ridiculous, then 1/20th of that would be a $4,000 Ethereum. So again, it takes time. It's not like everything's going to happen overnight. We know the market's extended, and we've talked about a lot of these indicators before. We don't need the logarithmic regression band to know the entire market's extended. We don't need the pi cycle top indicator to know the entire market's extended. It's during these times of high extension where the market can get super volatile. Okay, so I would say manage your risk accordingly. No one ever went broke taking profits. We're just talking about what is theoretically possible for Ethereum in the short term if Bitcoin holds the line, right? If Bitcoin holds the line, and we were discussing, not too long ago, the idea of this 8-week moving average, squeezing Bitcoin up against the logarithmic regression band and saying, okay, it's decision time for Bitcoin, and also, consequentially, it's decision time for Ethereum to see, all right, is it time to break out? And so far, the decision has been up. But we always speculated that the more likely direction has been up for the last 7 months. Momentum is a hell of a drug, and it's hard to break it. One day we will break it, and then we will go down for a while. But so far, momentum continues to take us up. We're currently at 2371. I believe we've already flirted with that $2,400 mark, around the $2,400 mark, at least once or twice. We look at the Ether Bitcoin valuation. We discuss what is theoretically possible. Is the $2,500 Ether possible given the current market conditions? Of course it is. Of course it is. The main thing from my view that would prohibit it from getting to $2,500 is if there's a rug pull by Bitcoin and Bitcoin goes back down to the 20-week SMA. If that doesn't happen, Bitcoin could just sit where it is, and I think Ethereum has a really good chance of making it to $2,500 in the not so distant future. But manage your risk, okay? If you're buying now, you are taking on a lot of risk, okay? You are taking on a lot of risk. But I imagine a lot of people that follow the channel do have some positions below the current prices, and we're just sort of waiting to see how high we can ultimately trend up. And as I said, with Ethereum just a few days ago, that to me, and again, to my own potentially ignorant viewpoint, I was saying that this does not look like a blow off top to me, right? You don't normally get blow off tops followed by 2 months of consolidation around the blow off top. You don't normally get that. You normally get something like this, and then it just keeps on going down. Okay, we didn't get that, and that's why I said I don't think what we saw here was indicative of an Ethereum blow off top. We'll have to wait and see what happens with this next move. We don't know yet, right? We don't know how high this is going to go. I would say the higher it goes in the short term, I think the harder it'll be for Ethereum to hold it. But if we just sort of do what we've been doing for the entirety of the last 13 months, which is go up and then go sideways and go up and go sideways, then it's just the same game we've been playing for the last 13 months. Okay, this game here, up and then consolidation, and then up and then consolidation, and maybe sometimes back to the 20-week, and then up and then consolidation, and then up. Maybe the next consolidation period will take us back to the 20-week. I don't know, but it's the same game. The game has not changed. The game remains the same. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think Ethereum's going to break $2,500? I do think, as I've been saying, once Ethereum broke 2K, I thought the next major milestone for Ethereum for it to really contend with was $2,500. And I think that has already proved itself that 2,100, 2,200, 2,300, and 2,400 were easy barriers to be conquered, because we've literally conquered all 4 of them within just a few days of us breaking $2,000. So clearly those other milestones were nothing to get out of bed for. Let's see if we can push past $2,500, and then we'll look above that to see what's theoretically possible once we get there. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's go for 310,000 subscribers. Give the video a thumbs up. Also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. That'll wrap it up for this video. Thank you guys for tuning in. Subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.